Today, I want to talk about something that most people don't talk about when it comes to divorce, and that is grief. Yes, grief. Real, raw, aching loss. Even when your marriage ended for a good reason, even if it was the right decision, it can still hurt and feel like a death because, in so many ways, it is. You're grieving the loss of a shared future. You're grieving the version of you that once believed that this marriage would last forever. And if you're like most of us, you're also grieving parts of your identity that were tied to your role as a spouse and a partner in this marriage that has now ended. If you're new here, welcome back to Find the Joy with Jenn. I am Jenn Zingmark, your LDS life and divorce coach, here to help you navigate the challenges of divorce with faith, grace, and resilience. And I am a woman who has walked this long, messy, sacred path of healing after divorce. And I am here to help you do the same. So stick around till the end of this video, and I will tell you the truth about divorce and how you can thrive instead of just surviving. And if you have ever ugly cried in your car and then wondered if you're the only one, you're not alone. You are in the right place. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button where we do real talk and healing here. So let's get into it. Does grief mean regret? Let me be very clear here. Grief does not mean regret. You can grieve what was or what could have been without wishing it still were there. This is one of the most misunderstood parts of the healing journey. People might ask you, if it hurts so much, are you sure this was the right decision? Or you may even question that yourself. But pain doesn't always mean something is wrong. Pain is just part of letting go. Pain is just the evidence that you loved and that you tried and that you hoped. And you may even be grieving the person who harmed or betrayed you. That version of the person that you married, the best version of them. And that can be confusing. But here's the truth. You're grieving not just them, but the story that you told yourself about who they were. Actually, what you believed about who they were. The reality of who they turned out to be may be painful to face, but your grief is part of accepting that reality. Unacknowledged grief equals emotional paralysis. If we don't face our grief, it doesn't just disappear. It burrows in deeper and it shows up in other areas of our life in different versions, such as anger, resentment, exhaustion, emotional shutdown, and even physical illness. And many of us, especially those trying to stay strong or keep the peace, just bury our grief because we think it's a weakness. But I want you to hear this. Grieving is not weakness. Grieving is strength. It takes courage to actually choose to feel it on purpose. Let's talk about why grief needs an inventory. Sometimes the pain feels so overwhelming because it's coming from so many different directions at once. You're not just grieving the loss of a person in your life, you're also grieving that time that you can't get back, that version of yourself that you miss. You're grieving the loss of trust, the shared dreams that are now gone, the role that you had as a wife or a husband. You're even grieving the spiritual confusion or identity shifts that you now have to make because of this divorce. And unless you take the time to name those losses, they keep looping in your mind and in your body. I created a divorce grief worksheet to go along with this video to help you take an inventory of what you have lost. When you name it, you can begin to heal it. So make sure you download that worksheet and do the work you need to do to grieve your lost marriage. Let's talk about your body for a moment. Your body also needs to grieve. Grief isn't just emotional, it is physical. And if you have ever felt a tightness in your chest or that lump in your throat or knots in your stomach, or just an overwhelming sense of heaviness and weariness that you can't shake, that is your body grieving. That is your nervous system responding to this loss. Practices like breath work, walking out in nature, gentle, intentional movement, or even using techniques like the Alexander technique can help you release this trauma that is stored in your body. So, if you're feeling stuck, maybe it's time to let your body speak too. Pay attention to your body. It will tell you where the pain is. There is grief at every level of your healing. You might think you're done grieving because you've already cried all the tears that you can, or you've already forgiven, or you've moved out and you've moved on. But here's what I've learned. Grief is not a one-time event. It comes in layers and it shows up months after your divorce is final, when you're doing the holidays alone for the first time, or when your child asks a question that you weren't ready for, or when you hear a song, or you smell their cologne, or you realize your new life is still missing something that you once had. That is not a failure, friend. That is you just being human, and that is a new wave of grief. Each new wave of grief is another invitation to love yourself more deeply, more compassionately, and more truthfully. If you're in that place right now where the tears come out of nowhere or the ache in your chest makes you question your choices, I want to remind you that grief is not a sign that you did something wrong. It is a sign that you are doing something right. You're letting go. You are releasing. You are healing. And you are walking through the valley. I promise you won't stay here forever. To help you in this process, I invite you to download the free divorce grief worksheet. It's linked in the show notes. It's simple but powerful, and it will help you work through your grief. It will help you name what you have lost, what you're learning, and what your body is still holding on to. And you'll have a chance to write to the version of you that stayed longer than maybe you wish you would have, because that younger version of you deserves your compassion, not your judgment. Know that you are not alone and you are not broken. This is healing and it is a process and it is holy work. I am so proud of you for showing up and doing this work. Please like this video if you needed this message today and comment with the thing that you're finally ready to let go of. I read every one and I would love to know where you are in your healing journey. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more faith-filled support and share this video with someone who might need a little light today. So, I promised you earlier that I would share the truth about divorce. Watching these videos is fantastic, but the truth is that you need a coach to help you apply these concepts in your life and make permanent changes. You will be amazed at the changes you can make in your life when you have help using these concepts and accountability, committing to them and practicing them in your life. So I offer one free coaching session. Schedule your appointment time with me today and let's get started. There's a link in the video show notes. And until next time, keep showing up, keep leading with love, and remember, you are not broken, you are becoming. And God is not finished with your story, friend. Peace is possible, even after divorce. You have got this, friend. I will see you next time. Bye, y'all.